this program to bring you a
What's going on, world? DS1 Ross, and we back here on SheepStaysLeepTV. Shout out to everybody who support the platform. Much love, much love. Salute to everybody that's in the building. Salute to everybody that's in the building right now. Shout out to everybody that is here. Salute to y'all, man. Salute to y'all. Shout out to everybody that's here. Shout out to all of the visionaries in the building. Much love to the A-Game Nation. And we're back here on SheepStaysLeepTV with another one. I'm your host, DS1 Ross, of course. And make sure you start off by hitting that like button for me, family. Start off by hitting that like button for me. Let's hit that like button. Let's hit that like button, fam. Start off by hitting that like button. After y'all hit the like button, make sure y'all share today's show. Make sure y'all share today's show. And if y'all haven't yet, make sure after the stream, make sure y'all go and check out my last premiere because, of course, it ties into today's show. Of course, it ties into today's show. So let me get over here to the chat room and give some shout outs before I start. And while I'm doing that, make sure y'all hit the like button and share the show. Shout out to Just Jay. What's going on, love? Shout out to Just Jay in the building. Shout out to my brother Walt Diddy in the building. Salute my brother. Shout out to Miss Queena in the building. Much love to you always coming through and holding down the chat room. Much love, Queena. Shout out to my man Hannibal in the building. What's good, bro? Wow, Bill. That's good. That's good. Shout out to my brother Larry Vaughn in the building. Salute, King. Always coming through and holding it down. Shout out to Miss Angie. What's going on, Miss Angie? Good to see you, Miss Angie. I hope all is well with you. I appreciate your love and your support, Miss Angie. Shout out to my man Gotti in the building. Shout out to Gotti, man. Keep doing your thing, bro. Keep doing your thing. See who else up in here. Shout out to Alejandro. What's going on, Alejandro? What's going on, bro? I appreciate your support, man. I'm glad you was able to catch a live. And y'all see today's show. We're going to get into it. We're going to get into it because, as I stated on yesterday's show, I stated something that, you know, people in the comment section were saying that they really vibrated with, and I felt like I have to expound on that because we need to understand what I've been trying to explain to brothers since I've been on YouTube. The problem that black men have, all the problems that we have, stems from the internal. I didn't say all of our problems were internal. I said all of our problems stem from the internal. And that means the internal parts of every man and internally, meaning within the brotherhood. See, because there isn't the outside influence that plagues the group usually comes from a man who's in the group who allows the outside influence to affect the brotherhood. So it's always an inside problem. It's always an inside job. You see, because when brotherhoods are ran correctly, The only one who can destroy it or hurt it is a brother within the brotherhood. Don't we see that with the mafia? Don't we see that with the mafia? All of the snitches, all of the informants, those were people who were inside of the mafia, inside of that specific family. The men who became informants, the men who allowed certain things to happen to their fellow brothers. It's because they set it up. It's always an inside job. When a bank robbery happens, they look for an inside job first. So the problem or the problems that plague Black men stems from internal issues. It's always something within the group. The outside influence comes from a man who allowed the influence from the outside in. You see? So today's show, the love of money destroyed the brotherhood. The love of money. See, because as I said in yesterday's stream, you have two types of people in the world. You have people who love money, and you have people who love people. You have men who love money, you have men who love people. Men who loves money uses people. Men who love people use money. Let me repeat that. Men who love money use people. Men who love people use money. So the love of money is one of the major reasons why there aren't any brotherhoods, or the brotherhood amongst Black men has been fractured, has been destroyed to a certain extent because of the love of money. Because if you love money, you're going to use your brother. You're going to misuse him. You see? This is why you can't love money and love people. You can't love them both. See? You wonder why the younger generation don't respect the older generation? Is because a lot of you old dudes love money more than you love people. A lot of you older dudes use younger men to do y'all dirty work, and then you discard them. But then when you're 50, 60 years old, you complaining about these young boys out here running crazy. But you was the same big homie and the same older dude who was using young dudes. You was using them because you love money. You don't love the homies. You don't love your brothers. You love money. That's why you let your homies become crash dummies. That's why you send them on dummy missions. That's why you do it. That's why you do it. Because you love money. You don't love your brother. You see? See, because you can't love both. And you wonder why there's no trust amongst black men. There's no trust. There's no trust because they have something known now. They like to call it the back door. You call it the back door now, but that ain't nothing but brothers setting each other up. That go on right here on YouTube. They backdoor you. And it's because at the end of the day, they love money more than they love you, black man. That's why it's so difficult for black men to even say they a goddamn black man now. They're afraid to stand on it. Why? Because it ain't putting no money in their pocket. Saying I'm black does what for me? This is what you got black men saying. But then you want these young boys to stand up for something. Stand up for what? Defend what? When there's a legacy of black men backdooring and backstabbing each other. That's the legacy that they're carrying on. The same shit that we showed them, they're carrying it on. They're not doing nothing but what we showed them. Just like we not doing nothing but what we saw. So what generation gonna change it? What generation gonna show these young boys that we love y'all more than we love money? We gotta use this money. We're not gonna misuse each other. But what generation is gonna show that? Because Generation X didn't. The boomers didn't. See, that's why they stomp on the millennials, because the millennials are the one who's supposed to change it. We were at the beginning of the internet, at the beginning of social media. Remember, we're the Y2K generation. The millennials. It's our job to do this shit. It's our group. Why do you think everybody put everything on millennials? Well, the millennials are dumb. Well, the millennials don't do this. Well, the millennials don't know that. And the millennials are this. And the millennials are that. And the millennials and the millennials and the millennials. Because it's on us, brothers. It's on us to flush out all that old bullshit that we got from the boomers and Generation X. Like selling crack. We got that from Generation X. That's where we got all that hustling shit from them. Standing on a corner. We got that from them. We got that from them. They the one who showed us how to cook. They the one who showed us how to bag up and what that's supposed to weigh and what this supposed to weigh. And now these same Negroes is getting up here trashing millennials. That shows the destruction of the brotherhood. That showed that the millennials that those Generation X men were doing nothing but using the millennials and driving them to go the wrong goddamn way for profit. For profit. For the love of money. So you go and use that young man. And while you using him and he catching felonies and all that shit, because the shit you put in his pocket and put in his hand and made him think that this is what he's supposed to be doing because he need to be a man and provide. You taking that same money that he risking his life for and you using that and paying his little sister to lay up with his little sister. See, this is the kind of shit that destroyed the brotherhood amongst black men that we don't like to talk about. You know, that same money that you getting from that little homie, you taking that young girl shopping to buy Air Max, and then you taking her to the hotel. Old nigga. You old niggas is still competing with millennials now. You're trying to look like us. You're trying to impress the women that we supposed to be with. Because you love money. You love money. That's why you cut brothers' throats. You see? Because you're running off of this system right here. This is what you're running off of. This is what you're running off of. See? That's why at the top it says no detachment. Meaning you can't detach your feelings from money. Instead of you looking at money for what it's for, you've grown an affinity and a love for it. You have no detachment. And this is why you start looking at your brothers who I could get money off of. Who can I put in a position to make money for me? This is how you start looking at your brothers. You start looking at them as a dollar amount and not a man. And not a man first. See, because if a man possess the internal value, it's nothing for you to extract and gain material things from that. See, when you're around a man that's trustworthy, you don't never have to worry about that man robbing you. You don't never have to worry about that man snaking you. See, that's profitable. That's a man that you can profit with because you know he's not out to take nothing. You see? It goes back to character currency. Why get money with a piece of shit? You get money with pieces of shit because you a piece of shit. And because you love money. So you don't care about the character of that man because you love money. And when you love money, you use people. You use people, which is why black men don't have a brotherhood. We don't know what we should be doing. Why? Because we've been misused. Time and time again, we're being misused. You lay bricks. Why are you trying to have a debate? Why are you debating about politics? You are a graphic designer. You're out of your place. You don't know where you're supposed to be because you're constantly being misused. You see? So they'll let you be anything as long as it's profitable to them. You see? Which is why there's no brotherhood, because there's no order. There's no order. See? There's no order. And black men have a problem with being orderly amongst other men. Because all of their life, they've been around tyrants. They've been around chaotic men. See, because when you're around men that is of order, you got to have discipline. You got to conduct yourself different. So you're not allowed to misuse your brother. See, when there's order amongst men, there is no misusing of anyone. Because everybody's in a proper position and they know their role and they're playing their role. That is how a brotherhood is effective. Hence why the white manosphere is more productive than the black manosphere. Hence why those men over there get more results than the men over here. Because they have brotherhood. There's order over there. Because over there, they love brothers. They love their brothers. They don't love money. And any man who gets caught trying to misuse those brothers, they are immediately kicked out. There's no talk. There's no discussion. You're out of here. Because they will not allow no man to destroy the brotherhood. You are not allowed to destroy the brotherhood with your dereliction. Get your ass up out of here. But when black men start speaking like this, oh, we don't need that. We don't need that. But when a white boy get up there and tell you that's what you need, yeah, you right. If Donald Trump tell you that's what you need, oh yeah, we need to get it together, black men. But when a black man tell you that, oh, that nigga need to shut up. He broke. He just trying to get some money. But let Anthony Johnson get up here and tell you. Let Anthony Johnson get up here and tell you that. Let Rollo Tomasi get up here and tell you that. Let Cuck Murphy get up here and tell you that. Oh yeah, you're right. You right. You know, black men do need to get it together. Yeah, we do. But when a black man saying it, the first thing you said, ain't nobody listening to that broke nigga. That's the first thing come out you niggas' mouths. But when a white boy say it, I never thought of it like that. I never thought of that. That's so profound. Hence why they don't respect the black manosphere. Because we don't show that we respect our goddamn selves. You know what we show everybody here on YouTube? That we love money more than we love black men. That's what we show. We love getting a cash app more than black men. That's what we show. That's what they see. You see? But when you go over there and you look at what they doing, you know what they doing over there? They're building. And anybody who's anti what they're building for, you're out of here. Period. You're gone. Don't matter who you are, you're gone. If you become a problem, you're gone. But you know what we do? We keep problematic men around because of what? It draws money. It draws in the money. It's the love of money that destroyed our brotherhood. It is because of the love of money that Fred Hampton was murdered at the age he was murdered at. William O'Neill did that for what? Money and notoriety. Money. The love of money. The love of money, man. But we still want to act like, oh, DS1 don't want us to get no money. No, the money's not the problem. You're the problem. The money's not the problem. You're the problem. You're the problem. And your weak ass, you're the problem. See, because it's guys like you, when you get some money, you become a tyrant. You become destructive. You become anti what black men are supposed to be about, whether they have money or not. You see? See, because if you are for brothers, then you're supposed to be for brothers when you have money and when you don't have money. And when you get some money is when you really supposed to show that you're really about your brothers, by what you do for them, by putting your money where your mouth is, not putting your money in the mouth of an escort. See, don't tell me you about your brothers and you against all of this misandry and all of that shit, but then you going putting your money in the mouth of a misandrist. You going and putting your money in the mouth of a feminist. See, you can't do both. And see, this type of dereliction is going on because of the love of money. The love of it. The love of money. It's not the money. The money ain't do nothing to nobody. It's the love of money. See, men are not supposed to love money. Men are not supposed to love material things. That is for women to do. You see? That's for women. Women are supposed to love material possessions. You see? Because it's in a female's nature to beautify herself. So she's supposed to love all of that shit. She's selfish. So she's supposed to want all of the materials and the jewelry and all of that because that's in her nature. That's not for us. That's not for us. You see, that's not in our nature. So if you are a man behaving this way, you are dealing with degenerative behavior as a man, which then translate into how you treat your brothers, how you deal with your brothers. Are you going to use your brothers or misuse them? See, because as a brother in a brotherhood, you have to be useful. Brothers have to be able to use you for something. But the problem is we misuse each other. If I'm a goddamn crossing guard, I'm not sitting up here, trying to be an astrophysicist. I'm a crossing guard. You see? But you got a bunch of brothers up here that'll make you think you an astrophysicist so you can pay them your money to be lied to. You know you ain't nothing but a goddamn crossing guard. And that's a problem amongst us brothers. Because black men have gotten used to this. This is why you have black men saying pro-blackness is a hustle. Pro-blackness is the hustle of bum niggas who don't know how to create a way out their situation. That's how pro-blackness could be a hustle. Only to niggas who cannot figure a way out. Pro-blackness is not a hustle. Pro-blackness is a way of life. How the hell is pro-blackness a hustle when you got dudes like Mutulu Shakur? When you got guys like Tupac who grew up pro-black? You see? See, you start to hear shit like this when men have fell in love with money. This is what happens when you fall in love with money. You become anti-brotherhood. Then you begin to speak against everything that represents Black brotherhood. You got dudes running around here saying this about Martin Luther King, saying this about pro-blackness, saying this, saying that. But these are the very things that Black brotherhood was predicated upon. These are the very things. But this is what happens when you're in love with money. You destroy the very thing that Black men created. You destroy it. You destroy it. And when you run around and you profess shit like this, what that tells the next generation of men is you have no reason to have a brotherhood. There's no reason for Black men to have agency. What the hell you think brotherhood is? It's agency. What do you think it is? You can't have an agency of men who love money. Because guess what that becomes? That becomes a backstabbing, backsliding, backbiting ass group of men. Which leads Black men to what? Nowhere. Nowhere. So when you hear DS1 talk about brotherhood, I'm speaking on agency. Why do you think a lot of your political candidates belong to a brotherhood? They belong to a certain group of men. Huh? How do you think this stuff works? How do you think this works? But we think we can have a brotherhood of hustlers who just sitting around hustling each other, trying to get one more dollar over lunch money than the next man. We think that's agency. No, that's foolery. And they want Black men to think like that. so we could stay where we are. So we could stay right where we are. That's what they want. Because they know if we stay in that mindset, we're going to be the little rats running through the maze. You see? I'm trying to let brothers know what it really is. And it's not what you think. It's not about that. It's not a race to the top of this bullshit. That's what we think. We think it's a race to the bag. It's a race to the bag. It's a race to the money. Wrong. Shout out to Rob Mack. Appreciate you, family. Shout out to everybody in the chat, too. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Share the show. That's what they got black men thinking. We got to race our way to wealth. Not understanding what wealth is. Wealth is our accumulation and possession of what we, not they. You see? You see, brothers? Wealth is what you consider valuable, not what the world said is valuable. Okay? So if Balenciaga is valuable to you, that's what's valuable to you. That don't mean it's valuable in the goddamn world. It's valuable in your world. It's valuable in your life. It's the accumulation and possession of what we consider valuable. So if you consider that shit valuable, then it's valuable to you. But you know what I find valuable? This. I find my family more valuable than name brands. Even though I'm sitting here with $100 polo shirt on. That's not because I wanted to spend $100. That's because how much the shit costs. You see? I find my family to be valuable, more valuable than that. You see? I find my health to be more valuable than that. That's why a nigga working on his health. That's why if you check my shorts out, you see me, making my sea moss tea in the morning, making my smoothies. That's why you see that. Because it's about what you consider valuable. Now, if you love money more than your brother's existence, then we can't be surprised at a William O'Neill who will kill a great man like Fred Hampton in his sleep because he hated the type of man that he was because of Fred's internal value. Because of Fred's internal value is why William O'Neill killed him. Why Malcolm X was killed. Because of his internal value. Not because of the car he pulled up in, not because of his suits, his internal value. His internal value. We will not have Tupac Shakur today if it wasn't for his stepfather. Mutulu Shakur, the one who brought knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to Tupac's family. Mutulu. Not only was he a revolutionary on the front line, but he was an acupuncturist. He dealt with health because this is what was valuable to him. That's why the Panthers were so strong, because they possessed the internal and the external values. They had the mobility. They had the education. They had the professionalism. On top of loving and taking care of their family. Being healthy and promoting health. Having a spiritual base. Knowing how to treat people. This is why they were so dangerous. You see? You see? Because just like they'll hold court in the street, they'll make sure that your children is eating healthy food at school. That's why they were dangerous. Because they loved people. And when you love people, you use money. You see? That's why they were so scary to people. Why these people just don't take the money and go? Why they ain't just take the money and go? They didn't even take no money. They used their own money. You see? See, that's the definition of grassroots. The definition of grassroots is you loving people more than money. You can't do shit from grassroots if you love money. You got to love the people. You see? That's why Huey P. Newton, that's why Mutulu Shakur, Bobby Seale, Fred Hampton, what did they use? They used their education, their professionalism, and their mobility to aid and assist Black people because they loved the people. Mutulu loved Tupac. That wasn't even his son. Well, that was his son because he took care of him and he raised him. But he was not biologically his son. He could have misled Pac if he wanted to. He could have had Pac out in the streets making money for him. But no, what did he turn Pac into? He turned Pac into a disciple. That's what he turned Tupac into. He turned Tupac into a young revolutionary who still affects the world today. Today. The love of money is what destroyed our brotherhood. That's what destroyed our brotherhood. The love of money. Because when you get caught up in the love of money, you forget about the people. You forget about the men. You forget about them. You forget about those men that's sitting there with all this expertise, but ain't got nowhere to show it. Ain't got no platform to display it. And by no stretch of your imagine, don't think I'm telling Black men that y'all owe Black men something, because you don't. You don't owe Black men shit. You don't owe us nothing. Shout out to Heel Zen. He said, if you're just entering, hit the playback. Salute, family. Appreciate you. You don't owe us nothing. I'm not telling you to come back and do nothing. It's a choice. It's a choice. It's a choice. But when you become an older man and you start looking at the world and seeing just how much help that the next generations of men are going to need, and then you look at what you and your homeboys established and y'all didn't establish shit, don't complain. Don't complain when you 65 years old and you in the gas station and you scared to walk in there because you might get beat up because these young boys don't have no respect. Because just remember, you ain't had no skin in the game. You didn't do what it is that you could do. Ain't nobody telling you to change the world. Just remember that. Because a lot of you dudes like to run that narrative. But just remember, you ain't do shit to help. So shut up. You added fuel to the fire. So when it becomes an inferno and your ass start to get burnt up, hey, it is what it is. Remember? Because you can't love money and love people. You're only going to use one or the other. And just understand, it's going to come a time where you ain't going to be able to use people no more. It's going to come a time where you can't use people no more. And what happens when that day comes? And then you got to sit back and assess your life. See, that's what mediocrity is. When you look over at your life and realize you didn't fight for shit outside of you going to work and coming home and paying your bills. That's mediocrity. You didn't do anything to make this feel better. See, because your purpose comes from here. Your purpose comes from your heart. Your purpose don't come from up here. You know what comes from up here? Hustles. That's what comes from up here. A hustle. A plan to hustle. Your purpose comes from your heart. See? And a lot of us brothers are shut down here. That's why we don't know our purpose. That's why I say we got to heal before we build. Your purpose comes from here, your heart. Your purpose don't come from your mind. Don't let nobody tell you that. Because if your purpose came from your mind, one day you want to be a fireman, the next day you want to be a police officer, the next day you want to be a construction worker, and the next day you want to be a goddamn spiritual doctor. If your purpose came from up here. Your purpose comes from your heart. See? And if your purpose is to help people, you can never love money. You're only going to use it. You see? And brotherhood can never be established if you don't love people. Because the first thing you got to do is love your brother first. And that's whether he's standing at the gas station begging for 50 cents or whether he living in a goddamn penthouse in Cabo. Your love for your brother shouldn't change because it's not predicated on anything tangible. You see? So the love of money is what destroyed our brotherhood. The love of money is why we can't get it back together. Because there's always going to be a nigga talking about, well, how we going to get money? See, soon as you hear that, soon as you hear a dude come out his mouth and say that, that's a dude who's desperate and destitute. He's desperate and he's destitute and he's looking for a way in so he could scam or hustle a brother. See, because a man who's about the brotherhood and he sees or has ideas for the brotherhood to make money, he brings the idea. He doesn't start talking about money. He brings ideas. He doesn't say, man, we need to get this money. We need to get this bag. Oh, you a thirsty, broke nigga. who trying to get some money to impress some woman to make her think you a man. That's what that shit is. See, I smell them kind of dudes from a mile away. Oh, you just trying to get some money so you could impress some broad. That's all. I'm trying to get this bag. Oh, so Shorty could say, oh yeah, I like you. You a real nigga. That goofy shit out of here. Get that goofy shit out of here. We ain't doing that. There's no maggles in a brotherhood. Take that maggle shit somewhere else. See, because if you really was about some money, you'll come with some ideas. And not you screaming out like a female, because that's what you basically doing when you're saying that. You're calling out like a woman saying you need something. See, I know what it is. When you hear Duke, I'm trying to get this bag, Duke. I'm chasing this bag. Yeah, because you broke. You broke, and you letting all the brothers know that you broke. That's why you chasing money. You broke. And you need everybody to not know you broke. So the way you do it is you say you chasing money. That's what chicks do. That's what broke broads do. That's what broke broads do. Oh, I don't need no man. I'm doing my thing. I'm chasing this bag. Yeah, you broke. You broke, and you don't want this nigga to know you not broke. Come on, man. See, when you bring ideas, then the brothers could sit down and assess if these ideas would even be profitable. But you're not bringing no ideas because at the end of the day, you just trying to get some bread. You trying to hustle the brothers. That's what you're doing. That's what you do. That's what you're doing. You're trying to hustle your brothers. And that's because you love money. You see? That's why you're looking to misuse brothers. That's why you don't bring no ideas. You just bring this. It's never no, bros, I got some ideas for us to get paid. It's I'm chasing a bag. It's I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Yeah, because you're here for your own selfish reasons. Now let's go back to the chart so you guys can understand what feminine and masculine energy and nature is. See, all of this, I'm doing, I'm. That's selfishness. That's feminine. That's feminine. That's why they never got no ideas to bring the brothers. They only could tell you what I'm doing. What you doing got to do with me. What you eat don't make me shit. So what that got to do with anything? Are you bringing any ideas that can help me? If not, I don't care about what you're doing, bro. Keep doing your thing. But see, all that shows me is this dude is dealing in feminine energy. That's what he's doing. He's selfish. And he's just around to get shit for himself. The love of money destroyed our brotherhood. Selfish shit. Selfishness. Men are what? Men are selfless. So it's not about what I'm doing, what I'm doing, what I'm doing, what I'm doing. It's not about that. It's about what I do and how that can help us. You see? That's what that's about in a brotherhood. You see? Because we all taking care of ourselves individually. You see, we don't see when you're dealing with men, Men don't have to say shit that's understood. I don't have to say, I'm going to take care of myself. I don't have to say that. I don't have to say, I'm making money to pay bills in my house. I don't have to say that shit. That shit's supposed to be understood amongst men. So sitting around having a pissing contest, that don't happen around men. You will get escorted off the premises with that punk shit, with that little boy, little rascal, I got $1 shit. That don't work around men, because that denotes selfishness, which is a female trait. Okay, that's what you doing. Can what you do help us? If not, bro, have a good day. All right? The same way we escort women out, we're going to escort you out. Because that's what women do. Look at me. Look at my new sneakers. Look at my butt. Look, I look nice, y'all. Look what I do. I work over here. That's all femininity. That's feminine shit. That's what women do. So when you showing men that this is the type of energy you give off, you wonder why there's no brotherhood? You wonder why the black manosphere is weaker than the white manosphere? Because we keep allowing feminine men to have a say-so. That's the problem. We're allowing the love of money and the men who are in love with money to keep us away from doing what we're supposed to do. The only thing that's going to save black men is for us to become our own agency. Okay? Because that's what's going to save us. Us understanding that we're our own agency. See, all the other men understand that. That's why the white manosphere don't have a problem with punishing the men who go against the tenements of their organization, of their brotherhood. You'll get suspended. You will be kicked out. Because nothing supersedes the brotherhood. Not no money, not no one's selfish motives. It's all about the group. You see? The love of this right here, and then we're going to wrap this up. The love of this right here is why black men don't have brotherhood today. Because we don't understand where brotherhood is cultivated. Brotherhood is cultivated internally. Because brotherhood represents what? Family. And I know a lot of us brothers come from messed up families. And we operate in messed up families. So we think by mirroring that, we're going to be okay. Just like it has hurt us since we were children, brothers, it's going to hurt us as black men if we repeat that same shit. If we think being a degenerative and a derelict ass group of men and standing up as family, like we did in our families, in our real lives, if we think that's going to continue to work, we're going to continue to lose. Because us growing up in our derelict families is why we have an exhibit a lot of degenerative, derelict behavior. It comes from our families. So why would we turn around and make a carbon copy of the same shit that we come from? And that is what the Black manosphere has become. It has become a place and a breeding ground for Black men to be degenerative and to display degenerative behavior amongst each other and celebrate it. Because as long as you hitting that Cash App, we don't care about the state of Black men. Because the love of money has destroyed our brotherhood. So shout out to everybody in the building. I appreciate everybody for coming through. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to all the visionaries in the chat room. Shout out to all of y'all, man. I appreciate everybody for coming through today. Shout out to everybody who hit the super chat. If you hit the Cash App, I appreciate it. If I missed any of your super chats, my apologies. Y'all know once I get into it, I don't really pay attention to the chat room. So if you hit the super chat and I didn't read it out, my apologies. I appreciate all of y'all for tuning in. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure y'all share today's show. Make sure y'all share today's show. Also, if y'all haven't yet, make sure y'all go and check out my premiere that I dropped a few hours ago because it ties into today's show. Make sure y'all go over there, check that out, share it. Get it on out there, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning into today's show. And before I get up out of here, one more announcement. I will be starting my live show now every day. That's Monday through Friday. I will be starting my show at 2:45. And I decided to do that because I noticed when I start a little earlier, it takes YouTube a lot longer to get out my notifications. So this is why I decided to push it 15 minutes later. So when y'all see me coming on 2:45 every day now, it's not just because I'm late. All right. I decided to push the show back to 2:45 Eastern Standard Time every day, Monday through Friday, because of the YouTube notification. So I definitely appreciate y'all for tuning into today's show. Once again, I appreciate all the donations, all the likes, and the shares. If you haven't yet, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell so you're notified every time I drop some new content right here on Sheep Stay Sleep TV. Shout out to all you visionaries again. Much love to the A-Game Nation for coming through and supporting today's show. DS1 Ross, Sheep Stay Sleep TV. And remember, brothers, we are our own agency. We are our own agency. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. Peace.
We're A-Game, a 100% Black-owned company with an all-natural product and world-class customer service. We're headquartered in California, and we manufacture, package, and ship right here in the United States. We ship to more than 125 distributors worldwide. Normal processing is 2 to 3 days, and we employ virtual tracking until our product is received. So, no matter where you are in the world, here we come, and we're bringing your A-game.